kids are spoiled because you made them spoiled. You've created Frankenstein yourself.
This is pure power play. This stops here now.
The nation's favourite no-nonsense nanny is back.
Do what you're supposed to do as a parent. Stop copping out.
A third of UK parents think they're doing a really bad job. I don't think it's that bad. I just think a lot of parents have stopped reaching out. They've stopped being honest about the mistakes that they're making.
My daughter is the way she is because of no help and support.
I'm just really tired.
Because everybody thinks everyone's doing a better job behind closed doors, and quite frankly, we've all got the same issues.
Just want a normal family life, that's all I want.
Really, what I'm saying is we need to start talking more. Put your hands up.
Jo Frost wants to lift the lid on Britain's parenting woes and get mums and dads to share what they know.
Are you pleased with yourself?
Yes.
In this series, she's investigating the big issues facing today's parents.
Do kids get enough exercise?
Which one do you like? That one. Why? Because it's the skinniest.
As well as tackling some of the most extreme problems she's ever seen.
You're going to end up with a child who could die before you do.
I don't like dogs.
Why not?
Because she's changed you into a horrible mother.
She's on a mission to make us all better parents, but has she taken on more than one woman can handle?
Sometimes your job's not easy.
This week, Jo investigates if violent computer games are harming our kids.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that's quite shocking, really.
She meets a 12-year-old desperately unhappy in her own skin.
And really ugly and just small.
And a distressed mother who's resorted to force-feeding her child.
The behaviour that I'm seeing from yourself has got to change.
We conducted a survey of mums and dads from across Britain to find out what struggles they face as parents. The majority owned up to using one parenting tool.
I confess to that one, yes.
I have been known, yes.
For an easy life, you do say, oh, if you do the, you know, if you're a good girl or good boy, Mummy will get you a sweetie.
They don't get sweets all the time, but bribery it works.
I'm really sorry now because of the dentist, but I mean, I did used to bribe my kids.
I'm trying to get him ready for school. We're really, really late. And I say you can have some chocolate animals if you get dressed really, really quickly and eat them in the car. And if you can, and that does work. I know I'm not alone because I've actually admitted it to my friends and they do the same thing.
In our day, children had to do what they were told. We didn't have to bribe them.
But what if sweets are all your child will eat? Meet the Hussain family.
Kiran, there's only so much I'm going to let give in to you. No.
Every mealtime is a nightmare for Sophia and Abid, as 4-year-old Kiran refuses to eat anything but sugary treats.
Mummy feed you. Mummy feed you. I'll take it. It can go on sometimes 2 to 3 hours with Kiran playing up and trying to wiggle away out of eating.
Her malnourishment is so severe, she's been hospitalised and is massively underweight.
If she wears trousers or jeans, it's 1.5 to 2-year-old clothes, where she should be wearing 3 to 4-year-old clothes.
It's even affecting her speech.
Girl. Mickey Mouse? And she does talk, but she's getting like speech therapy because her speech was delayed because obviously she's not using all the mouth to eat. It's delayed her speech quite a bit.
Sophia is at her wit's end and has turned everywhere for help.
I've asked paediatricians, dietitians, I've got help from friends and family, and I've asked everybody, but I feel as though it's not helped Kiran.
In desperation, Mum has resorted to the drastic measure of force-feeding her daughter.
Do what you're treating like a baby.
I feel so guilty force-feeding Kiran, and I just don't know what to do. I didn't know what corner to turn to for me to help Kiran. Milk?
With every mealtime a battle, Mum's last resort is to fill Kiran up with the only food she will eat, sugar.
I know it's not right, but you think milk, ice cream is made out of milk, calcium, at least there's something going down her.
But a sugar-based diet comes at a price. 4-year-old Kiran already has 10 fillings.
Now I feel my failure because of the way Kiran is. And I know Jo can change us as a family. It's my last hope. This is the only thing I can hang on to. I've had enough. Open the door. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Yeah, not too bad.
Say bye to Daddy.
Bye, Daddy.
So see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Little sweetie. So I just really wanted to get your take on the eating issues that have been very severe, actually.
Just started off at a young age. It's like as soon as she was teething, and then it started with her dinners. Like she was like rebelling with me at 1.5, 2-year-old. We had to like force down on her, hold her down to pin her to actually feed her.
So you force feeding her?
Force feeding her. But she used to go in hospital quite often with colds or not eating, and she used to like be on drip once, twice, and I thought she'd grow out of it, go into nursery and stuff, and she just hasn't.
So who do you blame?
I feel as though I was young at the time I had the baby.
How old?
I was only, 18, 19? And I wanted the health service to help me. At the end of the day, the whole point of them being there is to support you. I felt as though at that age I had nobody, and my daughter's the way she is now because of no help and support. And I've had enough.
How did that affect your own relationship?
You know, I used to bicker at him at times, like, oh, you help me and stuff. And there I felt like he's off to work, he's doing his own stuff. I'm left with the baby.
I say to my wife always, don't buy anything sugary for her, just let her hungry. She will stay maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe 1 day or 2 days, and then she will start to eat.
So you've given this advice
to your
wife?
Advice, yeah, to her
and
every
Sophia
time.
said?
She said, no, I can't take when she leave her hungry. So what can I do then if she don't listen? But
yeah,
she
it's
never,
all right,
but
you saying don't do that, but
you
you
never
didn't
listen to me.
Yeah, but if you help me or if you stepped in and stuff with me and helped me like the way you do now.
I was helping you that time as well.
Yeah, but you was
that
working
time
all
the
the time.
Kiran was working 6 days, 12 hours.
Right. Blimey, I felt like I was in a referee boxing match. I mean, they started to talk and all of a sudden they wouldn't let each other talk. Nobody was listening and I found myself in the middle of this argument going on. I mean, to some degree, I almost feel that he probably is grateful that I'm here because I think he's been singing the same tune for a long time and she's not listened. She's wanted to control everything.
Coming up, Jo prescribes some tough love for Kiran. She gets to the bottom of why one young girl hates the way she looks.
That's really awful, actually.
And we find out what violent computer games are doing to our kids.
Look at this one here. Look at that one.
Jo Frost is helping mums and dads up and down the country tackle the big issues they face raising kids today. When we spoke to parents across Britain, one concern came up time and time again.
4 hours in a day.
6 hours.
About 4 or 5 hours.
Ah, yes, the computer games, the computer consoles.
At least 8 hours a day.
If it was up to my son, I think he'd spend his whole life on the computer.
You just let them do it, don't you? Sometimes, for an easy life, which is naughty. I feel a bit embarrassed saying that, really.
A lot of parents seem to be worried about the amount of time their kids are playing on the computer. But should parents be worried about the actual games their kids are playing?
Jo's enlisting the help of Dr. Doug Gentile, a leading scientist who has done extensive research into the effects of violent media on children. Using 40 12-year-old boys, they're setting up an exercise to investigate whether playing violent computer games desensitizes children to real-life violence.
The kids have a very special word for a game that doesn't affect them. What do they call it? They call it boring.
To start off, the boys will play 12 rated computer games for 20 minutes. Half will play a violent first-person war game, and the other half a non-violent football game.
Begin to play your video games until you hear me say stop.
All 40 boys will have their heart rates monitored to test how their bodies react.
Everyone's heart rate goes up just playing the game.
Yeah.
Playing the game is exciting, and that's true for a violent game or a non-violent game.
Put your hands on your head, please.
After playing their games for 20 minutes, the boys are then asked to watch violent news footage that could be seen any night on the 6 o'clock news. All clips were reviewed and approved by the kids' parents beforehand.
When I count to 3, you will press the continue button. If any of you do not want to watch any more, please close your laptop. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Jo wants to see if the violent gamers react to the footage in the same way as the non-violent gamers. Outwardly, all the boys seem pretty unfazed by the footage. But what's happening on the inside?
What are we seeing when we're looking at the heart rates here?
In general, the group that watch the violent video do seem to have low heart rates at the moment.
The ones that are watching the violent?
The lowest ones with the violent one.
The boys' heart rates reveal their different responses. Normally, when you see real-life violence, your heart rate goes up. But if you're desensitized, your heart rate stays the same.
So we're seeing exactly what we would have expected to see, that if they've been witnessing a lot of violent acts, that then when they see new ones, even though they're real world,
Desensitise.
that's exactly what we're seeing here.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that's just, that's quite shocking, really.
In response to watching the news footage, the heart rates of the boys who played the non-violent football game increased to an average of 99 beats per minute. But the boys who played the violent war game showed no reaction. Their heart rates remained virtually unchanged at 88. Shockingly, just 20 minutes of violent gaming was enough to desensitize the boys.
Everybody close the laptops, please.
Later on in the programme, Jo discovers how violent games can also adversely affect the behaviour of our kids in everyday life.
Once you become desensitized, we start feeling less empathy. So we are less willing to help when there's an opportunity that we could help.
Jo's been in Leeds helping the Hussein family. 4-year-old Kiran refuses to eat anything but sugary snacks. She's underweight and has been hospitalised for dehydration. In desperation, Mum Sophia has resorted to force-feeding her daughter. Jo thinks Sophia and Abid are so used to their mealtime battles, they're blind to what it might be like for Kiran.
Finish it.
I've been in childcare for 20 years and I've seen a lot. But when I actually watched that, I had to hold back a lump that was in my throat. Even watching that now horrifies me. It's absolutely shocking to see such hostility and aggression from you, and to watch this young child all but choking. The behaviour that I'm seeing from yourself, Sophia, has got to change. It's obviously an absolute horrific experience for Kiran. And I can imagine not a pleasant one for the pair of you. This stops here now.
That's really bad. I think that's all the parents' fault, not the kids' fault.
I just watching that makes you feel like a bad mother and stuff.
They're in shock. They're in shock with what they've seen. I think they're surprised that they've actually had to look at themselves. I mean, Sophia was quiet.
I felt ashamed and guilty doing that to Kiran, but didn't realise it was that bad. You don't realise until you see it.
Sit down up here.
If Sophia and Abid are going to tackle Kiran's eating problem, then Jo will need to show them some new, less aggressive techniques to use at mealtime.
Dip into Mummy's plate. Look, Mummy's got peas and curry. It's very delicious. I like it.
What I'm interested in is for you guys to have a conversation about something that doesn't evolve around Kiran. It's almost like there's too much prissing around her.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to see for the next 5 minutes, okay, is some silence and also some just general conversation.
What's wrong? Do you want to have some milk?
Carry on with your conversation, that's attention.
How long's your uncle going to stay?
I think about 1 or 2 days indeed. Then he's going back to Birmingham.
When she starts to invade your space and sit on you, you need to have a firm voice. All right, you need to be able to say to her, we can do cuddles later, but please let me sit down and finish what I'm doing and you stay there. Because this behaviour here is control. This behaviour is control. This is, I want my way right now. It's been basically a power struggle between Mum and Kiran. They're power struggling with one another. And actually what Mum needs to be confident about is recognising when to sit back and let go of that control and when to exercise it. This is what I am going to say to the pair of you, which is absolutely critical, OK? She has 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, all right? And in between, she's not going to have the snacks. I want you to leave her food on the side for half an hour after you've finished eating. So that if she then says she wants something, she can go back to having that. But that's it.
Yeah.
Okay? If it hasn't been called for by then, you get rid of it. I'm going to leave now.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And I want you to continue making sure that she's at the table here for a bit.
Sure.
All right?
You
And then
tidy up,
stick to
I'll
your guns
watch
and
her.
carry on. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
Bye-bye. Oh, it's going to be a tough one tonight, isn't it? Let's face it.
I'm giving you another half an hour from here, and then if it doesn't get eaten, I'm putting it in the bin. Okay? Now leave off because Mummy's tidying up.
After 30 minutes, Sophia follows through with Jo's advice to put a hungry Kiran to bed with no snacks.
For the first 2-3 days, I think it's going to hit me hard. I'm relying everything on Jo now, and I know Jo ain't going to let anything mess up unless I let him mess up. So I feel this time I'm going to follow Jo because she's my last hope.
Parents have always worried about what their kids eat. But 21st century mums and dads have a whole new range of issues to contend with.
Facial hair, body hair, spots.
She says she's got mottly legs.
She'd like to have a boob job.
He try, all kinds of things to try and make himself taller.
She was 9 when she first started saying, oh, I don't want to eat too much because I don't want to get fat.
I catch her getting the scales out, I hide the scales.
He didn't like his big nose. We always said that if he was really unlucky, he would have a combination of my nose and his father's nose, which is exactly what he ended up with. But it's character building.
My daughter dislikes everything about her appearance.
But what do you do when your daughter is so unhappy with the way she looks? It's making her life a misery. 12-year-old Bronwyn lives in Dorset with her mum Emma, stepdad Adrian, and baby sister Ellie.
I'm really sort of stupid and ugly and too thin and skinny. I feel really horrible.
I think Bronwyn is obsessed about her looks at the moment. It started off with her birthmark when she was about 7.
I feel like everybody's looking at it. It's embarrassing.
Then she started to say that she had a hairy back.
This is hair removal cream and I use it on my back.
She doesn't like hairy arms. She was shaving her legs when she was 10. She's just not happy being who she is.
Bronwyn's anxiety about her looks is so severe, she refuses to leave home without a full face of makeup.
This is all my makeup. Usually I'll take about 2 hours probably to choose what I'm wearing and like put on the makeup, and then I'm always late for school. There was a time when I was just making some toast, then in the mirror bit of the toast I saw myself and I was just crying because I'm so ugly.
Consumed by a pressure to look perfect, Bronwyn spends hours looking at glossy magazines for inspiration.
Everybody's always looking absolutely immaculate. It's just not real. And she doesn't seem to understand that. And if I knew what was going on in her mind when she is looking in the mirror, I'd be able to fix it.
Hello.
Hello.
Emma.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, I'm Emma.
Hi, Bronwyn. How are you, darling?
Jo heads straight to Bronwyn's bedroom for a chat.
So what have you got here? Is this a blusher or a foundation? What do you put this on for?
Because I don't like my skin.
You don't like your skin?
No.
What about your skin don't you like?
It's really bad.
So what's this here?
Concealer.
Concealer to cover up what you're covering up.
Spots and stuff. And
Right.
I use it to cover up my birthmark as well.
I've got a birthmark.
Have you? Where?
Yeah, I've got a birthmark on my bottom here. Can't really show you that, otherwise I'd be showing everybody, wouldn't I, really? But if I wear like a swimsuit or a bikini, you can see my birthmark. Yeah, can I see yours?
I don't want anybody to see my birthmark.
Why? What do you think people will say if they see it?
It's just embarrassing.
If I said this to you, if I said that you wearing makeup makes you feel more cared about and more noticed, what would you say to that?
It's true.
So who do you talk to when you talk about how you feel?
I don't know, I don't really feel like I can talk to many people about it.
Okay, what about your family?
They're a bit too busy.
So it sounds to me like you need to spend more time with your family.
Because I know that they're busy and they've got to do other things and everything, but like all the other mums and dads have got time.
Me kiss. She's such a gentle, fragile young girl, and when her family are not giving her the time to sit down and talk to her, what the message it sends home to a child is, I'm not good enough. She says that when she tries to talk to you, that it's like, oh, yeah, okay, it'll be fine. No, you look fine, it's fine. It's like that.
Unfortunately, she has, I know that children don't know, but the moments that she picks are always the most awkward ones when you're in the middle of cooking tea and then she comes in.
But they're the moments that the kids do come in, though.
Yeah, I know.
Kids don't come in when you're like this.
No, they never do.
Right, children, why don't you come and sit down and tell me what's on your mind?
Never do. They never
Children
ask
never.
you.
So
No.
they're not awkward points.
Yeah.
They're the times when kids feel that they're not on the hot spot to talk to you about certain things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they're the moments that you want to grab, but never, ever shut the door. Whenever she comes, whether you're cooking, whether you're feeding, sit down, darling, because if she wants to tell you something, she's always got to feel that that door is open. She doesn't feel that right now.
That's really awful, actually. Yeah.
She doesn't feel that.
I can see where she's going.
But she doesn't feel that. So, we're going to need paper.
Jo has a plan to get mum and daughter talking again.
What's one thing that you felt you've always wanted to ask mum?
Can you listen to me more? Can you spend more time with me? Tell me that you love me more.
Should we go and see mummy so that you can read these out? Okay.
Can you listen to me more?
Yeah.
I know it's hard because of time and everything.
I do agree with you on that one. But what you also have to appreciate is that when we do have some time together, you can't just be saying, can I phone up Alice? Can I phone up Alice? Can I make a phone call? Can I get a friend round?
Now answer that, not being defensive.
Can I?
But, however, it's almost like accepting it but then throwing it back.
Okay, I will listen to you more. But I need you. Oh, I can't say
You
it.
can. Because she's your daughter. Because that's how you both keep connected.
Okay, well, if I listen more, you listen more.
Tell me that you love me more.
Oh, honey. I tell you every morning before you go to school. I'm sorry if you didn't think I was sincere when I said it. I love you too, honey.
It was a very special relationship, a mother and daughter relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
And the most important thing to be able to connect on every level is time.
Mum and daughter have started talking, but Jo has a much bigger lesson in store.
Tomorrow, I am going to invite just you both down to London for the day.
Oh my God.
And we are going to have some girly time.
Coming up, it's a day of revelations for Bronwyn.
This feels like it's all been a bit of a lie.
Jo lays down the law with Sophia
What's all that about? What's all that about? Calm down.
and finds out whether violent computer games are turning our kids into zombies.
Didn't even budge.
Jo's in Leeds helping Kiran, a 4-year-old made dangerously ill by a refusal to eat anything but sugary snacks.
She has 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, all right? And in between, she's not going to have the snacks.
Yesterday, Jo instructed Sophia to stand strong and send Kiran to bed hungry if she refused to eat her dinner.
Watching. How did last night go? What happened last night?
Last night, I did give her the opportunity to eat, and because she chose not to, I'm not going to fuss around it. She was having a tantrum and that, and then later in the evening I was speaking to my husband saying, look, she didn't eat, but I have to stick to my guns.
This is what I want to say to you. I'm very pleased to see that your attitude has changed, a lot more relaxed. I think it's creating an environment that's a lot less hostile, to say the least.
Today, Jo has organised to take Sophia and Kiran to a local farm for a picnic.
Would you like to have a sip before we go? Are you thirsty?
Do you notice that's what a baby does, 14 months? And you go, what? And they start to talk, but she can talk.
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell me?
Yes.
Talk to me, use your words.
Karen, what are you telling me? Talk to me. What do you want? Do you want the books or what do you want? We're getting ready for the park. Come on, let's go into picnic. Come on, hold your packed lunch. Karen, we're going to the park. We're going to a picnic. Look, Mummy's got everything ready and we're going.
No, stop. What's this? Should I put this there? Should I put it there? Should I put this there? What's all that about? What's all that about? Calm down.
Yeah.
As soon as she goes, you're like, you can't do enough for her.
Yeah.
Do you want to take any of the books to the picnic?
Yeah.
Right, then take one. Right, let's off we go. Stop faffing. As soon as you start to be all like, picky, you make her panic. Too much for her. Right, let's go. Sunshine? Yeah. The purpose of this picnic is distracting Mum away from talking obsessively about food and at the same time engaging in Kiran so that she'll just get on with eating what's in front of her.
Get your sandwiches.
Get yours out.
Look, Mummy's getting her sandwiches out. That's Mummy's sandwiches. Get Kiran's sandwiches. Wow. And Kieran's juice.
Excuse me, please. Move it there. Stop faffing. Right, get your sandwich out.
Right, you get your sandwich out and Mummy's getting her sandwich out. Once we've eaten, we're going to go see the animal.
Dog.
Yeah, it's the duck. Nice and breezy here.
Yummy.
Is it yummy? Oh, wow. I'm glad you like that.
Good girl.
Well, let me have a bite and then I'm going to see what other animals there are.
Every time she took a bite of that sandwich, inside me I just wanted to shout, like, yes! Like another mouthful, you know? And you have to hold it down and just, make out very blasé that, I'm just here and we're admiring everything around. I mean, it's fantastic.
Ooh, whoa, what have you just done? You've dropped Mummy.
Eating a meal without conflict marks a significant breakthrough for Mum and daughter.
Oh, you little tinker. Today, Jo's shown if I just backed off and just let Kim do her thing, she can eat, which has made me realise a lot of things.
Back home, Jo leaves Sophia with homework to build on the success of the day.
Remember, 30 minutes at mealtime, and then the extra 30 minutes with the food on the side, if she wants.
An hour,
And a table, get one.
Yes.
Right, let's get a table, even if it's a small one that just opens up and collapses
flat
down.
pack, yeah.
Yeah, you can all sit around it
Yeah.
and create those meal times for her. Discipline, tone. Right, that's a real big one for you. Okay. Let me just hear you drop your tone before I go.
Put your feet down. Put your feet down from the table, please.
Okay. Put your feet down from the table.
Put your feet down from the table.
Okay, fantastic. Can I give you a kiss? Bye-bye, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Jo.
Bye. Right, well, I just hope really that they do that homework, because that's what's going to keep them moving forward, because there's a lot at stake if they don't.
But things are not so easy once Jo is gone.
No, Kim, don't run about. No, I'm sorry. She's sleeping, Kim. Just don't. Please. Don't go into an eat now. You can just sit here and eat your... Kiran, sit here, please. That's Kieran's space, look. This is all Kieran's space. Kiran, sit up on the sofa. You're being silly now. Try and finish your tea as much as you can. Pajamas. And then you can wear your pyjamas.
Mummy.
Talk to me.
For the second night in a row, Sophia sticks to her guns and Kiran is sent to bed without food. When Abid returns home, Sophia turns to him for help in staying assertive with their daughter.
I'm going to use certain tones of voice with you. I want you to tell me how firm I am and how I need to be a bit more stronger.
Okay.
Don't laugh,
Try.
Abid, you need to be serious.
Yeah, you have to
Because
try.
honestly, I need to change, and I'm trying ever so hard within me, but sometimes I feel so you're taking me for a joke, because you think, I think you probably think that I ain't going to do it, but Abid,
yeah, no, I know you will do it.
I've done so much today, so shall I try?
Yeah.
Right, I'll give you a situation where...
Kiran is not eating.
Kiran, I would like you to sit back on your chair and eat the dinner on the plate. Look, it's like you're laughing, it's like...
No. You have to say, Kiran, sit back here and eat.
Kiran, get back on the table and sit right next to Mummy and eat your dinner on the plate. How does that sound?
A little bit bad.
Earlier in the programme, Jo and Dr. Doug Gentile revealed that playing a simulated war game for 20 minutes is enough to desensitise your child to real-life violence. Now Jo wants to see if it can also change their behaviour. Will letting your child play violent games make them less empathetic and helpful to others? The boys are still in two groups. 20 are playing a violent war game, and the other 20 a non-violent football game.
So all these boys are playing their video games. Doug's in a room about to interview some of those kids, and I want to sneak around there and take a look myself.
Jo will observe while Doug interviews a random sample from each group.
So we've got Doug sitting down already.
Each boy will be asked a series of questions. During the interview, Doug will intentionally knock a cup of pens over to see how the players respond. Will the violent players react in the same way as the non-violent players? The first candidate for interview is one of the non-violent football gamers.
Hi. I'm Doug. Have a seat. Just have a couple of questions for you right now, and then we might talk to you again a little bit later on. But do you play games at your home?
Yeah.
Yeah? What game systems do you have?
Just PS2.
And what would you say are your 3 favorite games? Sure.
Doug's theory is that the non-violent gamers will help, but the violent gamers won't. Jo is not so sure.
See, when Doug went to go and pick him up, then the politeness kicked in and he said, "Oh, do you want a hand?" There wasn't an immediate reaction. And I think purely that was because he's a polite boy. I don't think it was because he played football.
I'm not quite convinced yet.
So what happens with a boy who played the violent war game?
What are your 3 very favorites?
Call of Duty World at War.
And another.
And what would you say are your 3 very favorite games? Oh, well, either. Just 3 favorite to play.
And another violent gamer.
Very favorite game.
Call of Duty.
He didn't even budge. He looked.
All 3 violent gamers have not offered to help. But what about a non-violent game player?
To play?
Nice.
And another.
And what would you say are your 3 favorite games?
Pick 'em up.
So far, all 4 non-violent gamers have volunteered to pick up the pens. But what if we go back to the violent gamers?
Actually, I think he gave less a reaction than anyone I've seen.
Overall, only 40% of the violent gamers picked up the pens. But an incredible 80% of the non-violent gamers all stepped in to help Doug. It's a simple and revealing test with shocking results. So does playing violent computer games desensitize you and make you less empathetic and helpful to others? Whenever they do this test, Doug and his colleagues always get the same answer: yes.
And in other studies, where we have kids giving an opportunity to either help or hurt another kid, if they played the violent game, they're much more likely to hurt. There's never one cause for a child's behavior. But what these studies tend to show is that video games are one of those causes, and they're not a small one, they're one that parents really should respect that power.
Just 20 minutes of playing a popular 12-rated war game was enough to numb the boys to violence and make them far less willing to be helpful. So what advice can Jo give concerned parents?
I think if you've got a child who is being very persistent in wanting to spend a lot of time on those video games, you've got to be able to set limits. You've got to be able to be strong enough as a parent to say, this is the amount of time that you can play on it. And the ratings are there because they're there to advise parents on what that video game's about. You wouldn't send your child off to the cinema, would you, if they turned around and said to you, oh, I want to go to the cinema today, and you go, okay, you'd ask them, wouldn't you? You'd say to them, well, what is it you're actually going to see? You'd want to know so that you knew that they weren't going to see an adult movie, because it's our job as parents to make sure that our kids are protected from that.
Jo's been helping Bronwyn, a deeply insecure 12-year-old, obsessed with looking like the model images she sees in magazines.
I'm too thin and skinny. I feel really horrible.
Today, Jo's invited Bronwyn and her mum to London for a special girls' day out.
The plan today is to go into this studio and show Bronwyn what a little bit of makeup and hair and lighting and everything else can do, really.
Hiya.
Hi. How are you? How are you doing?
Oh, fine,
Yep.
thank you.
So, are you ready to have some fun? Because this is going to be quite interesting, to say the least.
Today may look like a treat, but Jo has a hard lesson in store. Using a top makeup artist, fashion photographer, and herself, Jo wants to show Bronwyn the truth behind the glossy magazine images she so admires.
So, as you can see, I'm barefaced and ready to be made up.
Face me, camera on, shoulders. Yeah, that's great. Lovely. I love that. Beautiful.
This looks pretty fun.
Now they're going to get to work and start retouching.
99% of beauty images are retouched before the public sees them. Colin Hume has worked on images for Rimmel and Vogue and is making Jo's photo the accepted standard for a fashion or beauty advert.
Walk us through your first step, Colin.
We've reduced the arm size.
OK, so can you see that, Bronwyn? Look at my arms in colour, and then look, see how slimmer they are now at the top?
We've slimmed down the face, so around the jaw,
My chin is more defined.
and have softened the bags under the eyes.
See my eyes there? See the bags that are under my eyes?
4 hours of retouching later, Jo is 3 dress sizes smaller, with slimmer arms, a thinner face and neckline, and her eyes bag-free.
Looks a bit not real, if you know what I mean?
What looks more real?
You with, like, without you being changed.
It's almost like it's a different person, isn't it?
Now that Bronwyn has witnessed the extent to which the images in magazines can be manipulated, Jo's next mission is to help her rebuild her self-confidence.
Straight one.
Yeah, I'm a bit emotional because it's lovely to see that she's enjoying it and relaxing with it as well, and she's got no makeup on. Yeah, it's nice.
And nice to meet.
Close your eyes and hold hands. Okay.
For over 3 years, Bronwyn has not been able to look at herself without feeling critical and unhappy. Will Jo's day in the studio pay off?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh.
You like him? Yeah. This picture of you, we haven't touched at all. There's nothing done to it. It's just plain you.
What were you crying about, huh? What are you crying about? You happy? Hey. That's good. It's good to feel happy. It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? Mm? Yeah.
And they showed me all the tricks that they did with the camera and the computer and stuff, and I just feel like it's all been a bit of a lie on the magazines and stuff, so I'm gonna be more happier from now on, and I think that I've learned a lot of things.
We've definitely got to spend more time together, haven't we? That's something that definitely will be happening.
I just see a girl who is liking who she is. That shows me that she's got more confidence inside herself than what she had yesterday, because she started to become easier on herself.
Coming up, has Jo helped either of the families change for good?
Look, me!
Oh, this is fantastic!
Jo has been helping mum Sophia with daughter Kiran's eating problems.
Yummy.
Is it yummy? Oh, wow.
Last time she saw Sophia, she left her with homework to help encourage Kiran to eat, part of which was to buy a dining table for family meals.
Table for you to sit and eat.
Much better.
Do you think you can eat your dinner on this table and with this chair?
There you go.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Come on, they're going to be coming soon. You put the knife here and the fork there. So you're going to copy from Mummy. You can do it for Mummy. Fork here, yeah. And knife. It's not done yet. Let's turn it around. Do you like helping Mummy cook, Kiran? We're going to do more cooking together. Give me 5.
I like a table.
You like the table?
I like chairs.
I love them.
2 chairs.
One for Mummy.
No. One of Kiran and one of Mummy.
Yeah?
Big? Look big.
That is big. Wow, Kiran.
Look a bit. Not chicken.
I'm so proud of Kiran eating all that fish pie. I just feel so emotional. Emotional as in happy, not in like I hate her, like I resented her previously. It's like, I can't believe it. Jo's just left me the second day now, and I've managed to get my little girl to eat all her plate.
Buoyed by the success of lunch, Sophia embraces another of Jo's suggestions, to spend more time with Kiran. But the park is home to Kiran's favourite food. Can Sophia stick to Jo's advice of no sugary snacks?
Just 1 minute. There we go. Come here, darling. Are we going on the swings? She looked at the ice cream van and she got past it. And it's just so nice through a day without hearing that word, I want this.
Mummy!
I'll come at the front and then I'll push you back. Bye-bye. Kiran, do bye-bye. Hello.
Sophia.
Hello, Joe.
Where are you?
We're at Rounded Park this evening.
Did you do like a picnic then?
We didn't do a picnic. Kiran managed to have her lunch at about 1:30, and what we did was we had fish pie and vegetables, and she finished all that. And also, Joe, she...
Excuse me? Hold on a minute. She finished the fish pie.
And the vegetables.
And the vegetables.
And she asked for the second portion of the vegetables. So...
Oh, my word.
And
this is fantastic! Sophia, I'm so proud of you. You know what? It was about you just doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Once you stuck to your guns, you saw this behaviour change. Keep it up, my love. You're doing very, very well.
Take care. Bye. Oh, hello. Mwah. Love you. Give me a hug.
I'm so pleased for her. I'm so pleased. I feel like I want to cry. I haven't stopped crying.
4 weeks ago, when Jo met Bronwyn, she was miserable in her own skin and desperate to look like the models she admired in glossy magazines. After an eye-opening trip to a photographic studio, has anything changed?
I think the perfect routine now is washing your face with a flannel and water, like just warmish water, and that's all I've been doing. And I threw away all my other products or gave it to my mum. I feel more confident in the way I look now, and I realise that when you see all these people in the magazines and stuff, they've had everything changed.
Jo came here to make her feel happier about herself, to give herself more self-esteem and some more confidence, and she's definitely done that.
I feel less of a pressure because I can just look like me, because that's who I was made to be.
Go! Next time, Jo finds out if we're raising a nation of dangerously unfit kids.
That's a wake-up call.
She helps a boy crack an 80-hour-a-week computer game addiction.
He'll have his breakfast, his lunch and his tea at the computer.
£450?
And a mum whose spoiled princess rules the roost.
You create Frankenstein yourself.
I don't like the door!
Why not?
Because she's changed you into a horrible